everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering Tobit, chapters 5 through 8.
And man, it's the 60th episode.
Yeah, 60 episodes in to this show. Or
wow.
What's the other one at, like 170 something?
Yeah. We'll finish the Bible at like 666 or something. It'll be great.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll get up that high.
Purposely stretch it out.
Then every episode's going to be very short, and it's going to be like
today
we're
covering Tobit chapter 5 verses 1 through 2. Yeah, we could do it.
Yes, we could. Mathematically, we could do that.
Yeah, but it would be bad.
Yeah, it would be bad. It'd be horrible.
We would probably get more viewers.
Wow.
Because YouTube promotes things that are horrible.
I don't think horrible in that way.
Oh.
No.
Shoot.
Yeah, you got to think a little bit outside the box there.
Okay, well,
Not that far. Come back.
I have the Anchor Bible version of Tobit, a new translation with introduction and commentary by Carrie A. Moore.
And you know what? I have some commentaries here. We have Erdman's commentary on the Bible. And, of course, Tobit is included in this commentary, along with some other apocryphal stuff. We also have the New Interpreter's Bible Commentary, Volume 6, which includes a commentary on Tobit. So we have that. I think those are the only two commentaries on Tobit that we have.
Groovy.
Aside from that one.
Well, there's also the Old Testament survey, but there's pretty much nothing additional in there that I didn't cover.
Yeah. I don't think so. Aside from
pull out the Oxford Companion.
Oh, let's see what it has to say about Tobit.
I wonder if it even has anything on Tobit.
I'm sure it has something on Tobit. It would be kind of weird.
There have been several instances where it hasn't had anything about something.
Yeah, but Tobit is one of those books that would be included. Like it's even included in Erdman's commentary.
Well, let's see what it is.
Yeah, well, I'll find out. Today's episode is going to be actually dedicated to my great uncle who died this morning.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
COVID.
That's wow. Actually, COVID.
Actually, COVID.
What? I've not known anyone who's died of COVID.
Oh yeah. No, he died of COVID. And his name, in Russian, it's Marik. But I guess it would kind of be spelled Merrick. So for all of the Yu-Gi-Oh, for all the Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, my great uncle Merrick.
That's pretty hardcore, man.
Yeah, he was. This does have some stuff on Tobit, but my great uncle was He was a funny guy. He was a good guy. He always talked like really close to me, though. I don't know if it's worse than that.
Oh.
He would put his hand on my shoulder and lean down kind of close to my ear, and
not during COVID, right?
No, not during COVID.
Joe Biden-y.
He would no, not Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He would speak at his normal speaking voice, which wasn't exactly quiet, and I don't know if he just thought that I couldn't hear him or what.
Some cultures are closer.
Yes, and that was So it sucks that he has passed.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Let's see what what this book has to say about Tobit, the Oxford Companion. We haven't used this in so long. So the Book of Tobit, regarded by Jews and Protestants as apocryphal and by Roman Catholics and some Orthodox churches as deuterocanonical, is named after its alleged author, Tobit, a generous and God-fearing Jew whose blindness and poverty in Nineveh are the direct result of his performing one of the most characteristic good deeds, namely burying an executed compatriot. So I guess this goes over the story, honestly.
Whole thing?
Wow. Well, we don't need it to summarize the story.
And then it goes into some of the theological views.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then So given the target circumstances of Tobit and Sarah at the height of their miseries, many of the names in the story are highly ironic. Tobit's father was Tobiel, God is my good. Tobit's sharp-tongued wife is called Anna, meaning grace. The angel Raphael, God heals, poses as Azariah, and that means Yahweh has helped. The mother of the demon-possessed Sarah is Edna, which means pleasure. So yeah, apparently that's some irony in those names. Okay, that's kind of neat, I guess. Did we just get something from the Oxford Companion to the Bible?
No. Well, it's not
Apparently
about
we
the
did.
Bible. It's about Tobit. So maybe we
Well.
can get things about Apocrypha. from
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yep, because it's still part of the Bible in the Vulgate.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
So either way, we can get started with chapter 5. I don't
All
really
right, let's get into it then. Disguised as Azariah, Raphael is hired to accompany Tobiah. Then Tobiah answered his father Tobit, I will do everything you have commanded me, father, but how can I obtain money from him since he doesn't know me and I don't know him?
What?
Yeah, is
Is that a typo
gotta
though?
be a typo. You see that?
Yeah, it says doesn't now me.
Yep. Carrie A. Moore, please create a new edition. What proof can I give him so that he will recognize me and trust me and give me the money? And besides, I don't know the roads to Media that would get me there. Then Tobit answered his son Tobiah, we each signed a bond, and I divided it in two so that each of us could have half of it. One half I myself kept, and the other half I put with the money. It has already been 20 years since I deposited that money with him. Therefore, lad, find for yourself a reliable person to go with you, and we will pay him his wages when you return. But get back that money from Gabael. So Tobiah left to look for a person who could accompany him to Media, someone who knew the way.
So, the experienced father reassures his worried son. First, he tells Tobiah what he must present to Gabael in order to get the money. The matter of the signed bond is somewhat confusing in the text. Apparently, according to a practice known in the ancient world, the document was written in duplicate on the same parchment or papyrus. Then the document was torn or cut in half. Tobit took half home and put Gabael's half with the money. Tobit will now give Tobiah the half in his possession so that he can claim the money. So there's a nice old practice for you.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we have Raphael coming in.
Yeah, this is like the setup to one of those like early 2000s like bank robber movies. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Talking about like Oceans or something.
yeah, like Oceans. Like there was a Will Smith one at one point. Man, that genre has disappeared completely.
It has, yeah. I think that's because everyone made fun of it to oblivion.
Yeah, and then the comedy genre died
Yeah.
right after that.
No more comedy, yeah.
Nope.
Oof, too bad. Once outside.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yep. Once outside, he found the angel Raphael standing before him. However, Tobiah did not perceive that he was an angel of God. Where, Tobiah asked him, are you from, young man? I'm one of your fellow Israelites, he replied, and I have come here to find work.
Okay.
So Tobiah asked him, do you know the way to Media? Yes, he replied. I've been there many times, so I'm familiar with it and know all the roads. I have often traveled to Media, and I would stay with our kinsman Gabael, who lives at Ragas in Media.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, that is convenient. There's actually a comment on that. So 19th century scholars such as Rouche, who had strong moral reservations about Raphael's misrepresenting the facts here, tried to justify his deception by arguing that Raphael was impersonating a sinful mortal. He had to speak and act in an appropriate and convincing manner. Wow. But to Fuller, a Victorian scholar, such an argument was, quote, simply supporting one deception by another, end quote. By contrast, present-day scholars are far less likely to be concerned with the morality question, preferring to understand the deception in terms of literary license.
Okay, so that's interesting how, I wouldn't have even have thought of, the whole deception thing.
Yeah, it's noteworthy that the first thing that this dude says to him, literally, he lies to him and says that he's one of his fellow Israelites.
Yeah.
Second, he lies to him and he says that he's come to find work.
And then he lies to him again.
Yeah, he's like, what?
What if, and hear me out on this, those were all true. You see, angels, I don't know, they're Israelites.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
God needs a new job because, he doesn't have one.
They have super heaven angels, like the angels of the presence, who
of course
do the jobs of the Levites, so they're Israelites.
What a stretch.
Yeah.
I tried.
Although maybe if we're supposed to think that this is, if the story is written from the perspective of the character Tobit, then maybe it's just that Tobit thought it was an angel.
Well, is the story written from the perspective of Tobit?
Well, I mean,
yes. It's
kind of like
person.
It was
at this point.
It was first person. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes Tobit is the third person.
So anyways, Raphael knows exactly what Tobias needs, and he claims extraordinary knowledge. He knows media well. He knows all the routes, all its planes, all its roads, and he knows that the way is safe. Raphael knows the very kinsman Tobias intends to visit, and he knows the distance to Ecbatana, which Tobias does not intend to visit, but will.
So let's get into that.
Because
there's,
hold on.
There's something I want to read here from the commentary about Ecbatana.
Ecbatana was of course a capital.
Yeah, but here in Tobit it says it's a good 2 days travel from Ecbatana to Rages, for it is situated in the hill country, while Ecbatana lies in the middle of the plain. So the comment says about the 2 days travel. The author, or more likely a later editor, hence the parentheses that are written here, was confused in his geography on 2 points. For one thing, Rajes, being almost 200 miles northeast of Ecbatana, is a 10-day, not a 2-day trip. You can see this in Plutarch.
Yeah, the distance took Alexander's army 11 days to cover.
Mm-hmm. Then, too, there's confusion in the Greek and Latin versions as to which cities are involved. Greek 1, G1, and the Vulgate remedy the problem nicely by omitting any mention of the cities. While Ecbatana lies in the middle of the plain. Another error in geography, Ecbatana is actually located on a plateau at 2,500 feet above sea level. Such an error, however, quote, was a constant Western fallacy and is repeated in Diad 2, 13:6 in a passage dependent on, what is that? Stasius? Catasius?
I think it's Stasius, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Stasius. End quote. Once again, the verse in Greek 1 is a third as long. They say, quote, the angel replied, I will go with you. I'm familiar with the way, and I have stayed with our brother Gabriel. So, there you go. There's tons of errors in this summary of Ecbatana, where it is,
in the geography,
what it is. Yeah. Well,
I mean that honestly, it was just
that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the geographical error.
Yeah, he sniped it.
He did.
Well, the geographical error is kind of nuts. Like,
yeah, good snipe, bro. You got that. Kill confirmed, not kill stealing.
I guess if it were framed as something that Raphael were saying, which it's not, it's in parentheses separate from the quotation marks. So, it's not like Raphael's continuing to lie about this. This is just like a mistake on the author's part. Okay. Tobias said, "Stay right here, young man, while I go inside and tell my father, for I need you to go with me. I will pay you." "All right," he replied. "I will wait. Only don't take too long." Once inside, Tobias told his father. "I've just found a man," he informed him, "one of our fellow Israelites." "Call the man in, lad," replied Tobit, "so that I can learn what family and tribe he belongs to."
Wow.
And, well, they call him lad.
I know they call him lad.
"And whether he is reliable enough to accompany you." So Tobias went out and hailed him. "Young man," he said to him, "my father is calling for you." When Raphael went inside to meet him, Tobit greeted him first, whereupon Raphael answered, "Joyous greetings to you." To which Tobit retorted, "What joy can I have anymore? I'm totally blind.
Okay.
I can no longer see the light of heaven, but remain in darkness, like the dead, who see the light no more. Although still alive, I am among the dead. I can hear people talking, but I can't see them."
Okay, look at this straight. So he invites this guy in, and so this
He's like, "There you go."
This new person that he has just met, he is venting to them, because the guy says like, "Hey, I hope you're having a good one," all that stuff, polite stuff that you would expect, right? A joyous day and whatnot, but
what day is joyous? I'm blind.
Like, oh, okay, I was just being polite, but all right.
You see Anchorman 2?
No, I didn't see the second one.
Oh, you should see it. There's a bit where he goes blind and he's just incapable of doing like simple things that you don't need to use your eyes for. And he's just like, "I can't do it. I'm blind."
I get that he's having a rough time because he's blind, but also you just met this person. In fact, you invited them into your home specifically to vent to them about how blind you are and how much it sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy is just mad. "Take courage," Raphael said to him. "God shall soon heal you. Take courage." But Tobit went on. "My son Tobias wants to go to Media. Can you go along with him as a guide? I'll reimburse you, my brother." "I can go with them," he answered. "I'm familiar with all the roads, and I've often traveled to Media. I've crossed all its plains and mountains, and so I know all its roads." Then Tobit said to him, "Brother, to what family and tribe do you belong? Tell me, brother." But he answered, "Why do you need to know my tribe?" "I want to know what your tribe is, my brother," Tobit answered, "and what your name is." And it's getting real intense here.
It's interesting he didn't get his name earlier.
Yeah, it is. I mean, here he's just kind of trolling him.
Yeah, so Raphael seems reluctant to reveal his identity to Tobit. This is a common theme in angelic appearances. Both the angel who wrestles with Jacob and the angel who announces Samson's impending birth refuse to reveal their names. Tobit's characteristic gentleness is again revealed as he turns aside a sharp remark by repeating without rancor his question concerning Raphael's family and by asking pardon for his persistence. So yeah.
Most likely the narrator wanted his reader to understand that Raphael was testing Tobit to see whether Tobit was keeping his priorities in proper order. In other words, the angel's question gives Tobit an opportunity to display his family values. And for I want to know what your tribe is, this is translated differently. The translation's uncertain. Literally, it is, I want to know the things as far as the truth about who you are. So
okay.
The NRSV says, I want to be sure whose son you are. NEB says, I want to know the facts of your descent.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so on. I am Azariah, he replied, a son of the great Hananiah, one of your compatriots.
So the pseudonym Raphael uses to mask his identity is also an ironic revelation of his function. So we covered that before from the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Yes.
He tells Tobit, I am Azariah, Yahweh has helped, son of Hananiah, Yahweh is merciful. The statement is true, but not in the sense that Tobit understands it.
Mm-hmm. Yahweh has helped. It was a popular name in the Old Testament, borne by 20-some persons, ranging from Israelite kings.
There was that king Azariah, right? Wasn't he like a bad guy though?
Yeah.
He was the guy that sought, like he fell from like some rafters or something, right? And he like told people to go seek like some other gods to get help. I think that was so.
Him.
Yeah.
There's also prophets, priests, and Levites, and laymen named Azariah, including one of the youngest men in the fiery furnace in Dan. In any event, the angel is well named, for it in the name of his father hint at the salvation to be revealed through Raphael, a son of the great Hananiah. This is a bold-faced lie, often distributed. That often disturbed commentators in the past, especially those who took the books literally and who expected angels to be angelic,
which would make sense, I think.
But see for reference the view of Micaiah ben Imlah in 1 Kings 22:19 through 23. The name Hananiah was popular throughout the Bible. The Hebrew Hanan, Yahweh has been gracious, was born by more than 14 people in the Old Testament, including princes, priests, prophets, and laymen, including another of the young men in the fiery furnace in Dan. None of the Hananiahs is the one referred to in Tobit. Okay, so he says he is son of the great Hananiah. Welcome. And
it was okay. So it was Ahaziah. Okay, so I was wrong on the name. All right, my bad.
Very close though.
Yeah, it's close.
They're almost. What do you call them when it's mixed up letters?
Oh, an anagram.
Yeah, almost an anagram.
It's not, but yeah, it's almost. It's
very close.
It's getting there.
It's like a mispronunciation.
just add a couple more letters.
Homophone.
Yeah.
Favorite thing.
Welcome and God save you, my brother, Tobit said to him. Don't be offended, my brother, at my wanting to know about your tribe and your family. As it turns out, you're a relative. Moreover, you're from a fine and worthy lineage. I knew Hananiah and Nethaniah, the two sons of the great Shemaiah. They used to go with me to Jerusalem and would worship with me there. They never went astray. Your relatives are good men. You come from sound stock. Hearty welcome. Wow, this is way different than his initial...
So, when Raphael does not answer him, Tobit exclaims, welcome, literally, may you come in wellness. The word hugiaino, to be well, is subsequently picked up by Raphael and becomes an ironic echo of the angel's name and function. Tobit concludes that Azariah, or Raphael, is of good lineage.
Mm-hmm. And all these names, Nethaniah, might be Nathan, and Shemaiah. These are Yahoo has X names, and they are also very common.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 25 individuals are called Shemaiah in the Old Testament, and there's at least 6 people in the Old Testament called Nathan. And
one of them was the prophet. I forget the other ones then.
yeah. But yeah, all these names are like Yahweh has helped, Yahweh has given, Yahweh has heard.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's very heavenly, right? Then he added, I'll pay you a drachma a day as wages, plus expenses for you as my son. Plus expenses for you as for my son. So complete the trip with my son, and I will give you a bonus. I'll go with him, replied Raphael, but don't worry. All will be well when we leave, and all will be well when we return to you, for the road is safe. So this drachma, it's a 4.3 gram coin, silver.
Silver?
Roughly equivalent to the Roman silver denarius, the latter being the most frequently mentioned coin in the New Testament.
Yeah, definitely.
The drachma is mentioned in both the Apocrypha and the New Testament. Efforts of commentators to express the value or purchasing power of a drachma in terms of their own national currencies are not very scientific, and almost invariably end up concluding that a drachma is equivalent to a day's wages for a laborer. In assessing the value of Tobit's offer, Desilaire's is more to the point. Presumably, it was no small offer. So a drachma a day. The Vulgate omits all discussion of wages.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Then he added, okay, so I'll go with him, replied Raphael. Don't worry, all will be well when we leave, and all will be well when we return to you, for the road is safe. And Tobit replied, blessings upon you, my brother. Then calling his son, he said to him, lad, get ready for the trip and go with your brother. May God in heaven protect you both abroad and bring you back to me unharmed. May his angel accompany you both and protect you, lad.
Ooh, wow.
There's a lot of lads.
Yes, there is.
Okay,
May his angel accompany
this
you.
dude or lady, I don't know, Carrie. Was Carrie Scottish?
I have no idea.
Is a Scottish name.
It sounds Scottish. Carrie A. Moore. He.
Okay.
Yep, it's
got him.
Male. Amanda Rupert Strong, professor of religion at Gettysburg College in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. There was like a whole address there or something.
Yeah, there is. We can talk to him. We could probably send him an email.
Yep, that's what the Gettysburg address is.
You know,
his email.
You know what? If we know that this guy works at this place, we could probably find his university.
You do realize that this was published decades ago.
Worked at this place. This person could still be alive.
Also, let's not stalk anybody. We could try to contact them if they're still alive. I don't know.
When was this published?
A long time ago.
Oh, yeah. No way. They're not around anymore. Fuck. That was... Oh, no way. They totally are. They don't have a death date.
Okay, well, of course they don't have a death date when it was published because he was probably alive when it was published.
Okay, well, 1930 is when it was published. I doubt he's still
No, it wasn't
alive.
published in... There was no way this was published in 1930. Maybe he was born in 1930.
Maybe was he? Okay, when was this published?
Probably in the 80s, I'm guessing.
This says 1996 here.
Oh, okay.
So it's not actually that old. He was born in 1930.
So
I doubt he uses computers.
I also doubt that.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to be able to get in contact with him.
I also don't even know if he's alive.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think my grandmother was born in the late 20s. She's still around?
I'm not saying that there's zero chance that he's around.
Computer.
Yeah,
sell things on eBay.
It's very rare.
Yeah, I'll guess.
Usually,
she's the only grandparent I have left.
Also, I've noticed that women tend to be more inclined to try the new technology.
Yeah.
My grandmothers use the internet. They try Facebook. Like they try to understand technology. My grandfathers do not.
How old are they?
In their late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they my grandfathers absolutely do not, try anything with the internet. They don't understand these concepts.
Yeah,
Let me tell a quick story.
My grandfather is the one that I knew because I didn't know the other one. Before he died, he had 2 or 3 computers. He actually knew what he was doing. I was surprised. He was like, I did tax forms. This is just Excel is just tax forms. I'm good at it.
Sure, fair enough.
So I guess, since he did all that crap.
Let me just tell a quick story about
maybe Carrie's using computers.
We'd have to obviously to type that, but that would be.
I do want to alert Carrie or whoever the publisher is that they have a typo here.
Yeah.
Like,
we did see that the typo. You remember 20 years ago when you had to install the internet?
Oh yeah, you got a disk with an AOL sample on it.
You had to install it that way.
Guys, you never had to do that, but it was so jank the way you would have to do it.
I did have to do that.
But you didn't. You do see what I'm saying? Never mind.
I hope you understand that very recently, I had to attempt to install the internet.
You mean a browser?
Fair enough, but the thing is, I would have.
You can use the internet without a browser.
No. Here's the thing, it was on what was it? On Vista.
Okay.
I had to download something. First of all, I tried to get Windows 10. I tried to update it.
Probably a driver to update it so the internet worked.
I couldn't get even get to a driver.
Wow.
Because it was it was just so out of date. Like I tried my best, but to even establish some form of internet connection that actually worked, or some first that was hard on its own with that computer. And the thing is, my grandpa does this.
Such a weird story.
My grandpa does this thing where.
You told me about that just because it's new to him.
Yes,
he thinks it's brand new to everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell the audience. Yeah, he if he buys something, if it's 20 years old and if it's still in the box, he's like, it's brand new. It's not brand new. It's 20 years old. All right. It's yeah, so it's I had to try my hand at some outdated technology, and I just told him a million times before and a million times after, just get a new laptop. You don't need this one that has Vista on it. You can just get a new one,
like $100
that has Windows 10 on
better. It. Yeah, I had a netbook short story that I installed Linux on for a Linux class. Couldn't uninstall Linux appropriately. Forgot the password. And it says in order to uninstall Linux, or you must reinstall Linux appropriately in order to uninstall Linux, and to do so you have to log on. Yay! So I'm just like, okay, wow, that's boned. So I haven't used that in forever.
Right, there's a couple of comments that I want to get into.
Great, let's hear the comments about Tobit.
Once we finish this chapter.
Gotcha.
It's almost done. Before leaving on his trip, Tobias kissed his father and his mother goodbye. Tobit said to him, have a safe journey. But his mother burst into tears. Why have you sent away my child? She asked Tobit. Is he not the staff of our hand as he goes in and out before us? It's only money. Let it be a ransom for our child. The life the Lord has given us is enough for us. Don't worry, Tobit said to her. Our child will leave safe and sound and will return to us safe and sound. Your eyes will see him on the day when he returns to you unharmed. Don't worry. Don't fear for them, my dear, for a good angel will accompany him. His trip will succeed, and he will return safe and sound. So she stopped crying. And that last bit where it says, so she stopped crying, was the first verse of chapter 6, apparently.
Yeah, it's split up.
They just threw it in there. But this comment that they have here, So the substitution of a deity for a real human being in certain transactions is part of the stock and trade of Greco-Roman and presumably Near Eastern mythology. So this deception should be understood as a way of getting Raphael into a situation without exposing who he really is. A good example is in 1 Kings 22, where the angelic spirits in heaven counsel Yahweh about how to deceive Ahab and lure him to his death by becoming lying spirits in the persons of the false prophets
That's
of
right.
Yahweh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
While the matter is a little murky, my impression is that the volunteers are going to impersonate some of the 400 false prophets and join in with the others to give Ahab the wrong advice about the coming battle. Is that deceptive? Of course. Is it Yahweh's manner of doing business with human beings? Quite definitely, so far as the Old Testament is concerned. That was D.N. Friedman.
David Noel Friedman.
Mm-hmm. And there's this other bit. So many scholars have noted a striking similarity between Tobit 5:18 through 22 and a passage in the Pseudepigrapha, namely Jubilees 27:13 through 18, where Isaac sends Jacob off to find a wife among the daughters of Laban. Quote, "And it came to pass after Jacob arose to travel to Mesopotamia that the spirit of Rebekah grieved after her son, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, my sister, do not weep on account of Jacob, my son, because in peace he will journey and in peace he will return. God Most High will protect him from all evil, and he will be with him because he will not forsake him all his days. For I know that he will make his ways prosper everywhere he goes until he returns to us in peace, and we see him in peace. Do not fear on his account, my sister, because he is upright in his way, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful, and he will not perish. Do not weep. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of Jacob, her son, and he blessed him."
I mean, I see the parallel there, but I don't think it's like really strong. I don't know. I see it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. So that was all I really wanted to point out from the commentary here.
All right, and you know, if you haven't read Jubilees, we read it for you.
Yeah, you can go check out our Jubilees section of the Friday Apocryphal Podcast.
Right before this?
It was before we started Tobit.
That's not even too far back. It'd be easy to find.
Yeah, it really would.
Either way, I guess we can hop into chapter 6 then, huh?
Yeah, we can. So why don't I hand this off to you?
Yeah. So here's some stuff for you. I'll take the book itself.
Okay. I need some more coffee.
Oh, you need more coffee? Yeah. Are you tired?
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Are you exhausted? Has it been a long day?
Not really.
No, not a long day. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna read something out of here first.
Solo.
Yeah, let's solo it. So this is the journey to Media. The journey falls into two segments, each dealing with one of the questions generated by preparation for the journey. It begins with the last question from the previous sequence. Will Tobias return safely? On the first night of the journey, he is attacked by a fish, which attempts to swallow his foot. By heeding Raphael's encouragement and advice, he conquers the fish. In obedience to Raphael's instructions, he sets aside its gall, its heart, and liver for future use. Raphael's response to Tobias' inquiry concerning these strange instructions suggests an answer to the two questions that have been ignored since the exposition. How will Tobit be healed? The fish's gall can restore sight, apparently. How will Sarah be delivered from Asmodeus? The burning of the fish's heart and liver will drive demons away. So the first part of this is going to be about the safety. I don't know if you want to read the second section there, if we should just wait until after we get through some, let's just say, interesting things.
Where'd you stop? You were here? Okay, the second segment of the journey begins as the travelers approach Ecbatana. The repetition of this place name, which occurs in 3:7, hints that this section will deal with the question of whether Tobias will meet and marry Sarah. Raphael introduces the subject immediately and advises Tobias of his right to marry Sarah. In response, Tobias objects. He's heard of Sarah's affliction and the deaths of previous bridegrooms. Yeah, you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, there's going to be stuff that we're going to cover in the story. It's really just saying what they're going to say.
Fantastic. All right, so chapter 6. The young man left the house, the angel with him, and the dog followed him out and accompanied them.
Oh,
so
it's like that was really common in medieval artwork, right? Like
dogs? I think they're
oh no, like you know the tarot? The
like
Rider
tarot
Waite
cards?
the Rider Waite tarot has on the Fool. It has the guy walking and he has his dog with him.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Or maybe I have and just
It's literally the start of the hero's journey.
Yeah, and
Any fiction, writer would know that.
yeah, it's a very common motif.
okay.
Gotcha.
So the two of them walked until the first night overtook them and then camped by the Tigris River. So on the dog, much has been written about this dog,
Yes.
but little has been settled. Unfortunately, the relevant portions of the text, i.e. here and elsewhere in the Qumran fragments, are not intact, although Martinez, Bayer, and Fritzmeier all posit in 4Q Tobit a Keleb, I guess, the dog, while in the West, the dog has regularly been regarded as a symbol of faithfulness and man's best friend. Such was not the case in the Old Testament. There, the dog was an unclean animal, right? And, if you want
Right.
to call someone like, weren't the male prostitutes called dogs?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were. So this author says the dog, which reappears in 11:4, is probably a feature of underlying folktale.
Yeah, the dog was regarded primarily as a scavenger and so an object of contempt. That the dog's appearance in Tobit was an intimate touch is surely wrong. Rather, it is not just a charming detail which delights, but a vestige of some secular folktale. Tobit's dog has been explained by scholars as a vestigial remnant of this or that folktale, ranging from Iran to the east, to Greece in the west. For example, the dog's presence has been explained as, and here are a few examples, evidence of the influence of Hellenistic culture. The word heleb, the heart, occurs several times in this part of the narrative, and a careless copyist might have easily made the slip.
Oh, man.
A faint echo from the Ahikar tale, my son, sweeten your tongue and make savory the opening of your mouth, for the tail of a dog gives him bread, and his mouth gets him blows. The role of the dog is in keeping with Iranian beliefs that dogs repel demons and have a special bond to mankind. It makes sense with the whole Ekbatana thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it goes on and on.
Well,
a whole bunch of them.
Tobit's the first example in biblical literature of a dog being a companion, though Job 30:1 indicates their use to guard sheep. Most commentators have seen the dog's presence as a surviving redactional relic from an earlier version of the story in which the dog had an integral function in the story.
And they got rid of the dog, the best part.
Yeah, they cut the dog.
Hold up. It's a vestigial dog.
A vestigial dog.
Dude, that's a cool shirt.
No, it isn't.
No.
Come on.
No,
I
it
don't even
isn't.
know what you'd have. Get
Well,
real
whatever
creative.
it is, I don't want a vestigial dog.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay, I tried.
Whatever it is, sounds horrible.
Let's
shit.
keep going.
All right.
We're about to get
I'm very excited.
fishy.
Great. Then Tobias went down to bathe his feet in the Tigris River, but he let out a yell when a large fish suddenly leaped out of the water and then tried to swallow the boy's foot. "Grab the fish," said the angel to the boy. "Don't let it get away." So the boy seized the fish and hauled it onto the shore. "Cut the fish open," the angel instructed him, "and take out its gall, heart, and liver. Keep them with you, but throw away the guts."
So, as already noted, the saving of the fish, heart, gall, and liver anticipates crucial junctures in the story. Indeed, their use is spelled out in detail so that the reader knows specifically how the fish giblets are going to be used. The
Fish giblets.
the passage is an indication that there was no clear separation between magic and medicine in antiquity.
Duh.
Although some substances were recognized as having medicinal properties, it was also widely believed that many illnesses were caused by demonic spirits of one sort or another. This is well known from such New Testament passages as Mark 9:17 through 27, Matthew 17:14 through 18, Luke 9:38 through 42, and 13:11 through 16, in which an illness was thought to be caused by demonic possession. In the same way, many medicines seem to have symbolic and magical properties rather than being thought to work by biochemistry alone. This was also a question of illness being the consequence of sin. In the case of the 4Q prayer of Nabonidus, the king's illness is healed when an exorcist forgives his sins. Thus, sin, demonic possession, and illness are all connected in the cultural thinking of the time. Sin is not explicitly involved in either the blindness of Tobit or the deaths of Sarah's husbands, but there is a strong contextual implication that both Tobit and Sarah are absolved of their difficulties because of their righteousness. So we're about to get into the details of these fish giblets.
Great, let's see what they do.
The magic powers they have.
"For its gall, heart, and liver make useful medicines." After the boy had cut open the fish and saved its gall, heart, and liver, he roasted it. Then he ate part of the fish, but the rest of it he salted and kept.
Yes, it's very smart.
The two continued together until they were near Media. The boy then asked the angel, "Brother Azariah, what medicine is there in the fish's heart and liver and in its gall?" The angel replied, "As for the fish's heart and liver, you must burn them in the presence of a man or woman who is afflicted by a demon or an evil spirit, and the affliction will completely flee from him and will never again return to him. And as for the gall, rub it on a man's eyes on which white patches have developed, and then blow on them, and his eyes will get well." Man, this is
Cure
some
for cataracts?
great advice. I think doctors should be using this.
Oh, yeah. So,
Any fish. Any.
Any fish.
apparently.
He had entered Media and was already approaching Ecbatana when Raphael said to the boy, "Brother Tobias." "Here I am," he
There you
answered.
are.
Hey, there he is.
"We must spend tonight," advised the angel, "at the home of Raguel, who is a relative of yours. He has a beautiful daughter who is also a relative of yours, named Sarah. But apart from Sarah, he has neither son nor daughter. You are her closest relative, and so have the hereditary right to her, and also have the right to inherit her father's estate.
Okay, so...
Besides, the girl is sensible, brave, and very beautiful, and her father loves her."
So these verses introduce a point of legal custom which features fairly prominently in the story.
Yeah.
The fact that Tobias had a legal right and responsibility to marry Sarah. Deuteronomy 25:5-10 gives the Pentateuchal law on levirate marriage.
Hold on. Says
And-
the angel. Quick diversion. You got to go get married first. Okay. To like your cousin. Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
in which an unmarried brother was required to marry his widowed sister-in-law and raise up an heir to his deceased brother. A similar custom is present in, is presupposed by the story of Tamar, Judah's daughter-in-law, in Genesis 38, 6 through 26.
That was a fun one. And also the further exploration of that in Jubilees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Levirate marriage does not apply here, however, because A, Tobias was not a brother of the previous husbands, and B, the non-consummation of the marriage might have annulled the idea that the previous men married by Sarah had been the husbands in full sense. A better parallel is found in the book of Ruth, which contains the idea that the nearness of the relationship determined who had the most right to marry a widow. In this case, Tobias is alleged to be her nearest of kin after her parents. In Ruth, the question of inheritance of property of the dead husband is also an issue, as it is here.
Yeah, the Levirate practice was by no means peculiar to Israel. It is attested to in the Middle Assyrian Law Code. And this is from the Law Code. If, while a woman is still living in her father's house, her husband died, and she has sons, she shall live where she chooses in a house of theirs. If she has no son, her father-in-law shall marry her to the son of his choice. Or, if he wishes, he may give her in marriage to her father-in-law. If her husband and her father-in-law are both dead, and she has no son, she becomes a widow. She may go where she wishes. The practice is also attested in 13th century Ugarit, where childless King Arhalba willed his wife Kubaba to his brother Nikmekpa. Should anyone aspire to power or riches by marrying Kubaba, Arhala imprecates, whoever, after my death, takes in marriage my wife Kubaba, daughter of Takan, from my brother, may Baal crush him. Yeah, and then it goes into a couple more laws, but that's interesting.
All right, let's continue.
All right, so, telling him to marry his relative. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. It is right, the angel continued, for you to have her. Listen, my brother, tonight I will speak to the father concerning the girl, so that we may have her as your bride. So that we may have her as your bride.
Wow.
This guy's a bit involved.
He is. And also, it's not really...
unhealthily, possessively so.
It's not... Hold on.
What verse is that?
Well, that verse was 13. But also, is it explained how he knows Raguel?
No, he's an angel.
No, he just says.
Right. I get that. But, from his point of... Or from Tobias' point of view...
well, he's a relative.
Yeah, they're all relatives. They're all related.
Remember? Because Tobit said you are a relative because of the background that...
I remember the hereditary background thing, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess mutual relative then. All right.
Which also means that he should have a claim to this girl.
Unless
he's a further relative.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. On our return from Ragish, we will celebrate the marriage. Moreover, I know that Raguel cannot withhold her from you or promise her to another man without incurring the death penalty, according to the decree in the book of Moses.
So the statement that Raguel could not give Sarah to anyone else without incurring the death penalty, according to the decree of the book of Moses, is puzzling. What is this book of Moses?
Yeah.
Is it the Pentateuch? This is a reasonable interpretation, since a good deal of the book of Tobit seems to presuppose knowledge of the contents of our present Pentateuch. But if so, no such rule as laid out here exists in the Pentateuch. However, it may represent an expansion of the law of levirate marriage. It is not uncommon for people in a society to find sanction for a societal custom from their sacred books, even if no such explicit support exists. Creative exegesis can always be called on to find what one is looking for. Raphael's reference to a decree of the Book of Moses may in fact be a reference to a particular exegesis or interpretation of the law on levirate marriage or some similar passage. This was not a case of levirate marriage anyway.
So yeah, since the Pentateuch contains no such law, the narrator may have had in mind a halakhic, that means law, by the way, halakha, halakhic interpretation of some Pentateuchal passage, and viewed the oral law as Mosaic. Less persuasive is the explanation of Mueller that Raguel could not, in good conscience, have allowed any of Sarah's more distant relatives to marry her because that man would have had the same fate as his predecessors. Not surprisingly, the Vulgate, the medieval Hebrew and Aramaic versions, as well as the Greek, omit the phrase. So that's interesting. And also, that's the phrase is without incurring the death penalty. But the phrase, the book of Moses, is in the Greek, the law of Moses. Either way, so that one's still a little open-ended, I guess.
All right.
So continuing on here. Further, he is aware that... What?
No data.
No,
Well,
we're doing fine.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So further, he is aware that it is your hereditary right before all others to marry his daughter. So now listen to me, my brother. Tonight we will speak concerning the girl and arrange her engagement to you. And on your return from Ragesh, we will fetch her and bring her back with us to your home. Also, they're going to arrange all this stuff without speaking to her. But that's
why would
okay.
they?
But that's okay because, this is the way it has to be, apparently.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, why would they ever consult her about anything?
Of course.
This is something that he has to talk to her father about.
Oh, right. Yes. How could I be so? How could I be so
a
foolish?
choice about anything according to the Pentateuch?
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
they married a guy and he died, and then they got their brother and then
right.
he died,
They
and then
could
they're a
choose
widow
which house-
twice, and then they can get to choose. Yeah,
Yeah.
hyper circumstantially,
Yeah.
they get one choice. Maybe.
Although that is in Assyrian law.
Aw,
So,
man.
Yeah. Almost, but not quite. Either way. But Tobias took issue with Raphael. Uh-oh. Brother Azariah, I have heard that she has already been given in marriage 7 times, and each man has died in the bridal chamber. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Might mean that she's killing them.
Yep.
On the night they entered it, they dropped dead. Besides, I've heard people say that a demon kills them. So I, too, am afraid of this demon because he loves her.
So this demon's Asmodeus.
I'm sure this is another typo, actually. Yeah. Her, he.
Ha! He.
Come on, Anchor Bible.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with what I think it should be. He doesn't. Okay, so he doesn't hurt, but he kills any man who comes near her. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I am my father's only child. Were I to die, then I would bring my father and mother to their grave with grief over me. Besides, they have no other son to bury them.
So
Is it like a thing like
It-
they could only be buried by...
her husbands died in the bridal chamber. They died. It was a demon who killed them. It kills any man who desires to approach her. The demon's motive for killing Sarah's bridegrooms appears in the Qumran manuscript, 4Q Tobit.
Yeah, that just means the manuscript of Tobit in Cave 4.
Yep. Greek manuscript 319 and the Old Latin. It is in love with her.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
Well,
Not really
true
the kind
love
of
is true love.
impression that you get from the story up till this point.
That's what you get with true love.
I don't know how he would
Love
have
wins.
That
Love beats all.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though. Well, I guess he heard it through the grapevine.
Sure.
It's a rumor worth propagating. Hey, did you hear that relative of ours had like 7 husbands and they all died?
They all died because this demon that
they
was
had sex.
in love with, yeah.
I think it's a demon. That demon loves her.
Yeah.
It's a good rumor.
Yeah. It's like that Herman's Hermit song, Henry VIII.
I don't think I've heard that song.
I'm Henry VIII. I am.
Yeah. I got married
I guess I
to
have.
the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and every one was a Henry.
He's
Yeah.
the 8th Henry.
Oh, right. That
Yeah.
would make sense. Okay. Don't you remember your father's instructions?
No.
The angel asked him. How your father charged you to marry a woman on your father's side? But hear me out, my brother. Don't worry about this demon. Marry her. I'm certain that this night the woman will be given to you in marriage. However, when you enter the bridal chamber, take some of the fish's liver and its heart, and place them on the embers of the incense. When the stench rises, the demon will smell it and flee, and will never again be seen near her. But before you consummate the marriage, both of you must first stand up and pray, beseeching the Lord of heaven to grant you mercy and protection. But don't be afraid, for Sarah was destined for you before the world existed. It is you who will rescue her, and she will go home with you. Moreover, you will, I have no doubt, have sons by her who will be like brothers to me. So don't worry. When Tobias heard the advice of Raphael, and learned that she was a relative on his father's side, he loved her very much, and his heart was set on her. So that's all it took.
Yeah, so Raphael instructs Tobias in the means to free Sarah from the demon Asmodeus.
You know, maybe that's what we were doing wrong. Maybe we were burning some fish or something when we were trying to summon a demon.
Well, they hate fish.
Yeah, I guess someone must have been cooking fish.
When?
Was your dad cooking fish?
I don't
eats
think
fish
he
here?
eats fish.
Well then.
Well,
Then we did nothing wrong then.
So these means include not only the use of the fish entrails, but also prayer. It seems that Tobias already forgotten what he learned about the fish at the Tigris. Raphael also declares that Sarah was set apart for Tobias before the world existed. They are to be gifts to each other. Tobias will save her from her affliction, and she will be his companion and the mother of his children. Throughout the journey, Tobias obeys Raphael. He follows Raphael's curious instructions concerning the fish, and he allows Raphael to persuade him concerning marriage to Sarah. The willingness to marry a kinswoman also accords with his father's command. Having heard all the angel's words, Tobias immediately falls in love with Sarah, a strange comment to our modern ears. Tobias loves her because she has been designated by God for him, and because she is the means for his obedience to his father. Tobias love is an act of the will, not a movement of his emotions. Eerdmans comments, one hears of marriages made in heaven, but it is not often that one's spouse was set apart for you before the world was made, as here.
Well, it's this is a very strange scene in general.
Yeah, it's very like buddy cop movie.
Little bit. A very strange buddy cop movie.
Yeah, I could see this in the next Rush Hour.
God, I sure hope that is not in the next Rush Hour.
Word for word.
That would be atrocious.
You gotta marry your cousin.
Yeah. All right, let's I guess hop to the next chapter then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hand this over to you. There's a few things about demons here, but not even just a few. There's a whole lot about demons in here. But I don't really think it's too closely related to what we would. I think it would just be a little off topic, is what I'm trying to get at.
Mm,
But you know what isn't off topic? Chapter 7 of Tobit.
oh man, this is cool as shit.
Like,
They're
yeah, it's cool
talking
stuff.
about the bowls and how they had prayer bowls, right?
Yeah.
This one's like Tardi Bath Oni Homicide Tardi. In the name of exorcised and sealed are the demons and the devil and the Satan and the curse spirit and the evil Liliths which appear
Yep.
by night.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Those are the incantation bowls.
right, and
Yep.
the
I covered those.
the Mandaic inscription, which includes Shamash and Sin and Bel and Nergal. Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's definitely cool stuff in there about, demons.
Yeah. Go check out all those bowls if you have the time, viewers.
Yeah, all the bowls. Like, I'm sure there's they're the Aramaic incantation bowls. So I'm sure there are pictures of quite a lot of them.
This is a Solomonic technique for binding demons.
Yeah.
It's preserved in the Testament of Solomon.
Yes.
There, Solomon tells how the archangel Michael gave him a ring which has a seal from the Lord Sabaoth.
Yeah, and he's he basically gets power over demons.
Oh man, they talk about the magical papyrus. This is cool. Man, this guy must have read a lot about magic. He
Yeah.
must have been trying to cast spells.
Must have
in
been.
his basement.
Must have been. That's the only reason. Yeah.
So let's get into it. Tobias' marriage to Sarah is arranged. As they entered Ecbatana, Tobias said to him, "Brother Azariah, take me directly to our relative Raguel." So he led him to Raguel's house, where they found him sitting by his courtyard gate. They greeted him first. "Greetings to you, brothers," he replied. "Welcome and good health." When he brought them into his home, he observed to his wife Edna, "This young man looks like my relative Tobit." So Edna questioned them, "Where are you from, brothers?" They answered her, "From the Naphtalites, now exiled in Nineveh."
Oh, that's interesting. That where are you from is interpreted as, where is your
Mhm.
yeah, what's your lineage at?
The New American Bible seriously errs in rendering this as "Who are you, brothers?" even though that is ultimately the crucial question. Rather, this
Yeah,
is...
but they don't mean it in the same way though.
Rather, this is but the first of Edna's three rapidly posed questions, which are patterned in both their content and phraseology after Genesis 29, 4 through 6, where Jacob asks of the shepherds from Haran, "My brothers, where do you come from? Do you know Laban, son of Nahor? Is it well with him?" So this has... So Edna questioned them, "Where are you from, brothers?" They answered her, "From the Naphtalites, now exiled in Nineveh." "Do you know," she asked, "our relative Tobit?" "Yes, indeed," they replied. She continued, "Is he well?" "He is alive and well," they answered.
That is apparently very close to Genesis 29, 4 through 6. Jacob said to them, "Brothers, where do you come from?" They said, "We are from Haran." He said to them, "Do you know Laban, son of Nahor?" They said, "We know him." He said to them, "Is he well?" "He is well," they replied.
Yeah, that's what I
an
just read.
exciting recant, both of them.
Anyway,
Wait, hold on. Did you?
yeah, that's what I just referenced.
I thought you were reading the Tobit part.
Oh, I switched from this area back over to here very briefly.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
Well, I guess, yeah.
At that, Raguel jumped up and kissed him and broke into tears. He spoke to him as follows: "Blessings on you, young man. You're the son of a good and noble father. What a terrible misfortune that such a virtuous and charitable man should have become blind." He then embraced his kinsman Tobiah and wept. His wife Edna also wept for Tobit, as did their daughter Sarah. Afterward, Raguel slaughtered a ram from the flock and gave them a warm welcome. When they had bathed and had reclined to dine, Tobias said to Raphael, "Brother Azariah, ask Raguel that he give me Sarah, my kinswoman." Overhearing that, Raguel said to the young man, "Eat, drink, and relax tonight, for there's no man more entitled to take my daughter Sarah than you, my brother. Moreover, I have no right to give her to any man other than you, because you're my closest relative."
Take her. Take my daughter.
Yep. "But, young man, I must be frank with you. I have already given her to 7 men. All of them are kinsmen. However, they died on their wedding night. But for now, young man, eat and drink. May the Lord deal mercifully with both of you." "I will neither eat nor drink," countered Tobiah, "until you've settled this matter with me." So Raguel answered him, "I will do so. She is yours in accordance with the decree in the book of Moses. It was decreed from heaven that she should be yours. Take your sister. From now on you are her brother, and she is your sister. She has been given to you from this day and forever. May the Lord of heaven prosper you both this night, young man.
Yeah,
May
so
he grant you mercy and peace."
yeah, quite. What verse did you just finish?
I just finished verse 11.
Verse 11. Okay. So yeah, quite a lot of stuff to cover on that one. So the terms brother, adelphos, and sister, adelphe, are terms of endearment expressing the intimate relationship between husband and wife or between lovers. Tobit uses the term sister for Anna, as do Raguel for Edna and Tobit for Sarah. Both of Sarah's parents call her Tobias' sister. The term continues to the idea that marriage joins not only two individuals, but also two families. Whoop, there it is.
So, in the Talmud.
Oh, and also that's an ancient. So the formula pronounced by Raguel: "Take your sister. From now on, you are her brother, and she is your sister, given to you from this day and forever," echoes the ancient marriage formula found at Elephantine. It is unusual, however, that the father, rather than the bridegroom, makes a statement.
Yeah, this would be from the 5th century BCE. So they have like, "She, i.e. Tumut, is my wife, and I, Ananias, son of Azariah, her husband, from this day forever." Papyrus 2, lines 3 through 4. Or
The contract of Mibtahiah's third marriage. That's called.
There's a little more on this, on these marriage contracts. So various forms of marriage existed throughout Israel's history, some of them being little, if at all, different from their Gentile neighbors.
Yeah, and also that's a huge topic of discussion in John Van Setter's Abraham in History and Tradition.
Ancient Israel never produced a marriage manual for its citizenry. The Old Testament is replete with marriages based on lust or romance and or economic considerations. The purpose of marriage, theologically speaking, was companionship and procreation. Despite the obvious fact that sometimes the human sex drive caused a lot of trouble and unhappiness, even within the context of marriage, sex could be good and beneficial. Genesis Rabbah, quote, "Were it not for the evil inclination, i.e. sexual desire, no man would build a house, marry a wife, or beget children." With a few notable exceptions, such as Jeremiah, who was expressly ordered by God not to marry, celibacy was regarded as an unnatural state throughout the Old Testament. However, men about to go into battle were not to engage in intercourse. Thus, the Essenes at Qumran practiced celibacy, as they believed that the final war of the age was upon them. So this is in the War Scroll. Besides having a number of children, especially sons, was regarded as highly desirable. So, anyways, let's continue with the book itself.
You said you ended at verse 11?
Yeah, Raguel then called for his daughter Sarah. When she came to him, he took her by the hand and gave her to Tobias, saying, "Take her as your wife in accordance with the law. In accordance with the decree written in the book of Moses, she's your wife. Keep her and take her safely home to your father. May the God of heaven grant both of you prosperity and peace." So this was also noted on here that
more of this decree of the Book of Moses stuff.
Yeah, more of this decree of the Book of Moses stuff. Raguel had a right as a father to decide this matter from himself, and this can be inferred from Exodus 21:7 and 22:16, a view later more fully articulated in the Talmud and QIDD, whatever that. I think there's actually a thing that says Kiddushin.
Okay.
Yep. Kiddushin. This is in Kiddushin 2:1 and 3:7. Anyways. Next, he called her mother and told her to bring writing material. Then he drew up a marriage contract and marked it with his seal, to the effect that they gave her to him as wife according to the decree of the law of Moses. That done, they began to eat and drink. Raguel called his wife Edna and said to her, "Get the other room ready, my dear, and take her there." So she left and prepared the room, as he had told her. After crying over her and then drying her tears, Edna said to her, "Be brave, my daughter. May the Lord of heaven grant you joy in the place of your sorrow. Be brave, my daughter." Then Edna left the room. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it is. That's an intense scene there.
Uh-huh.
Oof. Could you imagine a scene like that in like any cinema today?
No.
It would not be taken well.
Unless
be
it's like a drama that's supposed to be a reenactment of something that's traumatic.
Oh, right, yeah. But like
no. Other than that, no.
It's like
something.
bad look here, guys. Ooh. All right.
Anyways, there's a bunch on like Eastern, Near East, like marriage contracts and stuff.
And I forget which book it was. But for one of the books we read, it had like the mother teach the daughter how to have sex or something. Do you remember that?
That was in
Was that Ben Sira?
It might have been Ben Sira. It might have been a reference to some lines in Song of Solomon.
Yeah, maybe that. I don't remember.
There were a lot of different like bedchamber references.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what that was. I don't remember exactly what that was from, but I remember going over that.
Yeah.
Because that was shocking.
Yeah, it was. But we've just finished chapter 7. If you're enjoying the stream, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it around.
Yeah, the likes really do help out. More viewer engagement, the more we wind up in suggested feeds. So the likes really do help.
Yeah. Also, having finished chapter 7, we are now officially halfway through Tobit.
Yeah.
It is 14 chapters long.
Is it really only 14? I thought it was...
Nope. It's 14.
Oh, all right. Well, that's okay. We're making our way through. We're just blowing right past it.
Yep.
All right.
So here's something of a climax to the story.
Ha! Climax. All right. So let's hop into chapter 8. Chapter 8 it is. When they had finished eating and drinking, they wanted to retire. So they escorted the young man into the bedroom. But Tobias remembered Raphael's instructions, so he took the fish's liver and heart out of the bag in which he had kept them and placed them on the embers of the incense, which are just always going, I guess. The fish's stench so repelled the demon that he fled to the uttermost parts of Egypt?
Yeah, all the way back there.
Well, the thing is, if you remember, demons, depending on the type of demon it is, they could, travel winds. They lived in desert places, right? Now, of course, that's for Lilith specifically, Lilith demons specifically. But I don't know to how many classes of demons that would have been to.
Well, there's a few comments here. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I'll look
I've
for it.
got in both books here. Let's start with Erdmann's. The real test finally arrives in this chapter. Will Tobias survive his wedding night? Yes. Yet there is not a lot of tension because it's already been made rather clear earlier that the demon will not succeed this time. This probably explains why little space is devoted to the critical event itself. A fairly bald statement is made that the liver and heart of the fish are burned and the demon is driven away to Egypt. Why the smell of burning fish innards drove away only the demon and not Tobias and Sarah is not discussed, but that's probably a modern query. For their original readers, magic was serious business, and this was a magical deed, though it was followed up by Raphael's actions in pursuing the demon and binding him. Human and divine actions to achieve the same ends were not necessarily seen as mutually exclusive. What happened to the demon afterward is not stated. The binding of wicked angels, though, is a theme in 1 Enoch 10 and the Testament of Solomon. Here in this commentary, Tobias' chief action in the remainder of the book is healing. He follows Raphael's instructions regarding the fish's liver and heart. The notion that foul odors would drive away demons was common in the ancient world. Josephus reports that a certain Jewish exorcist named Eleazar drove demons out of people by holding a ring in which an aromatic herb was embedded to the nose of one afflicted. The practice, which comes from the tradition of folk medicine, is magical. In the Book of Tobit, however, the magical nature is muted. It is recommended by an angel along with prayer and only one part of a complicated remedy. The second part of the remedy requires the assistance of the angel. As soon as the demon is repelled by the foul odor, Raphael follows him to Egypt and binds him there. Upper Egypt is the southern part of the country. Except for the Nile Valley and the Mediterranean coastal fringe, Egypt is primarily desert, and demons were believed to live in desert places. The angel protects the human beings by taking the demon back where he belongs and preventing any further access to them. Raphael returns immediately, another indication of the haste that characterizes the angel.
Also, Moore points out that in the Talmud, Egypt was regarded as the magic and witchcraft center of the ancient world. Mm-hmm. So that's also interesting. Probably explains why that's in there. All right, so they have flee to Egypt, or the demon has fled to Egypt. Raphael pursued him there and immediately bound him hand and foot. When the bride's parents had left the bedroom and shut the door, Tobias got out of bed and said to Sarah, "Get up, my love. Let us pray and implore our Lord that he grant us mercy and protection." So she stood up, and they began to pray and implore that they might be kept safe. He began by saying, "Blessed are you, God of our fathers. Blessed too is your name forever and ever. Let the heavens praise you, and all your creation forever. You created Adam, and you made his wife Eve his helper and support."
Thank you, Justin.
Yes, thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Here is animal sacrifices and cousin marriage. Yes, absolutely. What would we ever do without animal sacrifices?
And once we hit $666 in donations, we'll be getting a feet meter.
That was the fastest that's ever gone. Maybe we need to check something.
Wait, what?
Oh, it showed the donation and everything.
Like at the very top? Yeah, that
it went super fast.
Yeah, that depends on how big the donation is. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, damn.
Okay, well, once we hit $666 in donations, we're getting a theat meter. We're going to see who the most clear is. We're going to get into
be me,
Scientology. Probably. It's going to be a fun time.
I think it will be a fun time.
But let's also talk about this verse here. The appeal to
Well, I'm
going
to finish the prayer.
Okay, why don't you finish
I would like to finish praying here.
Pray your heart out.
You said, it is not good for the man to be alone. Let us make a partner for him like himself. It's interesting that they use us. Now I am taking my sister here, not out of lust, but with sincerity. Grant that she and I may find mercy, and that we may grow old together.
So Old Latin says, bless us with children. And here it says, the appeal to the story of Adam and Eve may seem natural to us, but it's actually unusual. The story of Adam and Eve is told in Genesis 1 through 5, but nowhere else in the canonical and deuterocanonical books is it referred to apart from here. Adam's name is mentioned in the genealogy of 1 Chronicles 1:1. Eve's not at all. Later, a strong extra-biblical tradition develops, known to us from the Apocalypse of Moses, various books of Adam and Eve, and traditions found in other early Jewish writings, e.g. Jubilees, chapter 3.
So here's something kind of interesting about the bound him hand and foot thing.
Mm-hmm.
So although hand and foot is not in the text, but it is in 1 Enoch 10:4, where the Lord commanded Raphael bind Azazel hand and foot and throw him into darkness. Most modern translators include it, rightly viewing the verb here as rendering a technical Aram term, esedum, or esed, for binding or incapacitating demons. Moreover, Liliths and demons are sometimes depicted on later Mandaic bulls as being chained hand and foot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue.
All right. So I just finished the prayer, and they both said, Amen, Amen.
These are the only words that Sarah speaks in the presence of another human being.
That doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No, it doesn't. You remember that Rick and Morty bit?
Yeah.
Where they passed the Bechdel test?
Yeah.
What a great bit.
Yeah. Then they slept through the night. I know this is the translation, but it has slept in quotes, which is suggestive.
Jerome's Latin translation of the book of Tobit adds a comment that Tobias and Sarah did not consummate the marriage for 3 nights.
Okay. Here's something. They slept through the night. That is, the marriage was duly consummated that night. Otherwise, the bride's parents would presumably have learned about it the next day, when there would have been no quote proof of virginity. Cross-reference Deuteronomy 22:13-21. The Vulgate, however, maintains that the consummation did not occur until the end of the 3rd night together.
Yes, this interpretation is found nowhere else in the textual tradition. The Vulgate text, however, inspired the medieval Christian practice of the Tobias nights, 3 days of continence after the wedding before the marriage was consummated.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Tobias nights. Meanwhile, Raguel arose and called his servants, and together they went and dug a grave. For he said, he may be dead, and we would be laughed at and made fun of. When they had finished digging the grave, Raguel went into the house and called his wife, saying, Send one of the servant girls and have her go in and see if he is alive. But if he is dead, then we will bury him without anyone knowing it. So they sent the servant girl, lit a lamp, and opened the bedroom door. She entered and found them sound asleep together. Then the servant girl came out and informed them that he was alive and that nothing bad had happened. So Raguel blessed the God of heaven and said, Blessed are you, God, with every pure and holy blessing. Let all your holy ones and all your creatures bless you, and let all your angels and chosen ones bless you forever. Blessed are you because you have made me so happy. It did not turn out as I had feared. Instead, you have shown us your great mercy, and blessed are you. that you had mercy on these two, each and only child. Master, grant them mercy and protection. Let them live out their lives in happiness and mercy. Then he told his servants to fill in the grave before daybreak.
Yeah, so God is
And
And it's interesting that they dug the grave beforehand.
Well, they're like,
Yeah, well,
you know how many
They're
other
like,
guys
you know what, yeah,
died?
he's probably, induction, I guess. He's probably
they
dead.
wanted to save face. They wanted to do it secretly if he was dead, so
Well,
they wouldn't have to tell anyone about
Sure, I guess.
it.
Yeah.
So God is addressed as master, despocha in Greek.
Despotes.
Despota. It says despota.
Okay. I thought you said despocha.
Yeah,
Well, I might
Despocha.
Anyway, Raguel and Edna ask God to care for their daughter and son-in-law, to be merciful to them, to keep them safe and give them full lives. God has already acted in compassion and mercy. To be consistent, God should continue to do so. They also seem to play on God's compassion by referring to Tobiah and Sarah as two only children. Just as the prayer of Tobiah flowed from the context of marriage, so also the prayer of Raguel and Edna represents the petition of parents for their offspring.
I think, is that the end? I think that may be the end.
What was that?
That last verse?
Yeah.
Yeah, then he told his servants to fill in the grave before daybreak. That was verse 18.
No, it goes to 21.
What? Hold on.
Flip forward.
I am. Is it like in the next section or something?
Might be.
I hate when books do this.
Yeah, it goes 8:19
Wow.
through.
That's annoying. All right. After Raguel had told his wife to prepare a big feast, he went out to the herd and picked out 2 oxen and 4 rams, which he ordered to be slaughtered. So they began making preparations. Then he called Tobiah and swore an oath to him as follows: "You shall not leave here for 14 days. Rather, you shall stay here eating and drinking with me, and you shall cheer up my depressed daughter." Jesus Christ, this guy is very demanding.
He just wants to
Yeah.
party. A lot.
Want to party, cheer up my
prepared-
daughter? I can't cheer her up. I'm horrible, but please cheer her up while I force you to stay here. Take right now half of all I possess. Oh, damn. And return safe and sound to your father. And when I and my wife die, the 2 of you shall inherit the other half. Be assured, my boy, I am your father, and Edna is your mother. We belong to you as well as to your wife, now and always. So be reassured.
It's Tharsei, take courage. So, yep. That's they get a bunch of money, and then they're promised more later.
What I was really interested about is the 14 days. So this is twice the usual length for a marriage feast. Did the narrator intend by it to emphasize Raguel's great joy, or less likely to allow for Raphael to make the round trip to Ragash to bring the money and Gabael to the feast?
So the
Of
NIV
less-
commentary.
Hold on just a second. Of less merit is the suggestion of Cregan, which is in keeping with the quote, with his quote, number theology, that the 7 calamities of Tobit and the 7 calamities of Sarah are now balanced by a 14-day marriage feast. Yeah, that sounds like a stretch.
Yeah, this is Raguel orders the grave to be filled in and plans a second banquet more generous than the first. He prepares a 14-day wedding feast, twice as long as the ordinary celebration.
He's just twice as happy.
His primary motivation is his love for his daughter. He instructs his new son-in-law to bring joy to her spirit.
Or maybe he knows how difficult it is to cheer up his daughter.
Yeah.
After all
It
that,
requires twice the amount of
she
time.
was possessed by a demon.
Yeah, and she lost her first love.
And her second
demon.
love. And her
Yeah, and her
third
second and her
love.
third, and yeah.
And her
Yep.
7th love.
She lost 8 loves then, right? Because the demon too.
So what did you learn today, Lawrence?
I learned that the the demon loved this woman, and I learned that if someone is your really close relative, you should marry him.
Yeah, I learned that the way to get rid of a demon is to burn some fish organs.
Yeah, some fish organs. That's
incense.
Liver and heart. Liver and heart.
That is advice that can last you a lifetime.
That's right, guys. And if you don't have, just fish livers and hearts laying around, you can use liver oil. That's the oil that's in the liver.
Oh,
Cod liver oil. Everyone's favorite fish.
Or go fishing.
Or
get yourself
get
a
a
fish.
fish.
Get a fish.
Buy a fish.
I probably shouldn't use like a pet store fish.
No, I don't think that would.
We're not advocating for any pets getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But that's how you get rid of demons.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a demon.
You gotta pray too. You
I
gotta
have,
be like, God, get rid of the demon.
No.
Think about it. The story's
that
already
would
been
be-
answered, guys. They're gonna rub the rest of the fish on his dad's eyes, and he can see again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so obvious.
Oh,
Yeah.
think
So
gotta think of
obvious.
it this way too. He took the gallbladder out of this fish. He's been traveling with it for quite a while now. Now he's
staying there for 14 days.
14 more days.
Yep.
And then he's going to rub this rotting fish organ on his father's eyes.
Oh, he salted it.
What could go wrong
Ugh.
with these salty?
Actually, hold on. Did he?
No, he
did
only
salt?
salted the rest of the fish.
Yeah, he salted the rest of the
did
fish,
not
didn't
salt
he?
these
Okay.
3 parts. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
That's
Either
that's
way.
quite the thing. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the show today, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. That stuff really helps us out. Also, we have a Patreon. Lots of cool stuff on Patreon. You could get included into t-shirt giveaways and win t-shirts.
And if you don't want to go to Patreon for that and you don't want to be part of the Spin the Wheel segment, you could always go to our Teespring and buy those t-shirts.
Yeah. Also, we have an Amazon wish list. Lots of cool stuff on there. Lots of books. And the books, they can be added to this table. They can help us with videos. Speaking of videos, I am currently working on the script for Akhenaten, Egypt's heretic king. So we're talking about the world's first monotheistic.
Very, very much up your alley.
Yeah, the world's first monotheism right there.
Rock and roll, man.
Did you ask my dad about anything? Yeah,
No, I have a bunch of books on
not
it
an
already.
Egyptologist, but he's damn close.
Yeah. I mean, I know your dad is very interested in Egypt. I have a bunch of books on that. I'm good. I got some papers read
Sweet.
through them. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So that's hopefully I'll be done with that in at least the next couple days.
Yeah.
The script and then video.
And after Tobit, we're going to be reading the
You know what?
alphabet.
Yes.
For real?
I am just going to decide right now. We are reading the Alphabet of Ben Sira because I want to read it. If you have not read the Alphabet of Ben Sira,
Tune in.
yeah, it is hysterical. We read a little bit.
Just excerpts. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is so funny.
Yeah.
It is
not all that
just
long either.
insane. And the thing is, you have to remember it's a parody, but then a lot of atheists make the mistake and try to say, this is one of the books that was left out of the Bible. And, obviously this is where, Lilith is the first wife of Adam. And I have to bash it into their fucking skulls that it's a parody. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke that was written over 1,000
Other
years
atheists
after
don't
all.
seem to have a sense of humor.
Well, it's not they don't have a sense of humor.
Not
It's
at
that
all.
they don't get it. So
Yeah, that's a
speaking
sense of humor.
Of having a sense of humor, we're going to have Steve McRae
Tomorrow.
Sunday.
yes, that's right. Sunday we're gonna have Steve McRae on the show.
Yes. Our definitely agnostic buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is an agnostic.
Almost
I know.
certainly.
Yeah, almost certainly. So yeah, we're gonna have Steve on the show, and I think that's all we got. Shilling.
Amazon wish list, we said.
Yeah.
You can be on the show for $50 a month.
Yeah, yep. Facebook and Twitter. Free to follow us there.
Yeah, and we also have a BitChute.
Oh,
It
shit.
has a couple of things on it.
Damn,
Some
you're
of the
right. We
stuff.
do have a bitch shoe.
And it needs to have more stuff uploaded onto it, Lauren.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, it does. Doesn't
Oh,
it?
wow.
Especially
You'll
since
figure it out.
we're not getting that many views here on YouTube.
Yeah.
I-
Either way.
I bet they're
Either way.
using the algorithm to shut us down.
No,
but we can't be stopped.
I don't know how that-
Atheism is unstoppable.
And with that being said, we'll stop the show.
And we will see you on Sunday.
Thanks for watching.